discussing mental health in a relationship. It's something I feel that is really important and that we don't talk about enough. We do seem to talk about mental health in general as a society these days, but specifically in the context of relationships, I think that we need more normalization and more education about what kind of things that we should discuss. Struggling with mental health these days is something that is very common, and there shouldn't be any shame associated with that. But what's really important when you're in a relationship is that if you do struggle with mental health, to let that other person know. They may also be in the same boat, but having conversations around what a good day and a bad day looks like is really important as well. Now, a good day might not mean just walking through life like everything's fine. It might mean starting off the morning with anxiety and struggling and working your way into a place where you're okay to function day to day. A bad day may mean not getting out of bed, not being able to eat, not being able to sleep. But for a lot of people, they're very good at hiding some of the tougher times and some of the negative things that might happen. Now, when you're in a relationship with someone, there is a support system there, hopefully, but it's important to let that person know before you get to a point of turmoil or despair of what they can do to help, because often when that person is going through a tough time, they don't have the energy and the brain capacity to really set someone aside and say, okay, so when I'm struggling, I need you to do this, 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 and this. That's why it is so important to have these conversations beforehand and articulate and let that person know, what is it that you need? What does it look like, first of all? So they may be able to recognize when things are not going so well, or when they may need to kick into action. But also you need to let that person know what is it that they can do to help you and support you. Now, if you're the person who in a relationship who isn't struggling from anything to do with mental health and you are supporting someone who is, it's also really important that you have a support network too. It can at times feel very overwhelming to be responsible for potentially somebody's safety emotionally and physically, but also to watch somebody that you love that is struggling and in pain, and sometimes there isn't a lot that you can do about it. So it's really important that in order to support somebody else, that you have your own support system as well, someone that you can turn to, somebody that you can talk to about how you feel about what's going on. Now, for many people that are dating and exploring potential relationships, struggling from mental health is something that they want to hide. It's really important not to hide these things, because then it's saying that there is some reason to hide it, that there is shame attached, or there's some kind of negative association. We really need to be open and honest, because it's important going into relationships that people are aware of what's going on and what we can be impacted by. If someone is really struggling with their mental health, then when they're dating, there might be certain triggers that the other person needs to be aware of. If the situation isn't going so well and a breakup needs to be had, then if they know that rejection may be a trigger, then they can also get easier on that person. So it's really important that we keep those lines of communication open so that people are able to be aware of what somebody's challenging times look like, where their triggers are, but also how they can help. So I hope that little bit of information helps you and just gives you a little bit of a nudge to have a chat about these subjects and be open and honest and not be scared to talk about mental health. Okay, thanks.